Okay. There's 3 educators. Where's the 4th educator? The 4th educator. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait, also sort out something. What last?
Okay. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Before I even start talking, can we all get settled? And just some house rules. There's tea and coffee at the corner, so you're welcome to have it throughout. And we have our ladies and gents room. As you come out of the door to the right, the first one is the ladies, to the far end. On the right is the gentlemen. So, yeah. We are not allowed to use that door. It's only staff only that goes through that side. So just some of the basic rules as we are about to start. Can everybody settle down so that we can start? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. Also, just to alert you that the event is being recorded and it's also being live streamed. There are photos that are being taken in the venue, and I assume that whoever is in here is giving us permission to post their photos and the video in our various social media pages. If anybody has an objection to putting up of their photos or the video, please alert the photographers that you don't want to appear in the photos that will be posted on the various media platforms that we have. So if you don't alert them, we take it that you accept that you will see yourself in one of the or any of the media pages that UJ has, or TUT, or KKWETSO Consulting, or Department of Sports and Culture, Sister Boss Academy. So we take it that you are accepting that you will be appearing in those. We have to ensure that we adhere to the POPIA Act. We don't want you to go and sue us and say, I didn't agree to be on the photos. So if you don't agree, just let us know. Thank you. I think everybody is settled now. My name is Theodora Modise, and I'm the coordinator for events at the University of Johannesburg Library. I welcome you all to the University of Johannesburg Library. We feel very honored by our presence. We'd like to thank KKWETSO Consulting for identifying UJ Library as a potential place for such a beautiful project, which encourages a community of readers. I welcome all the sponsors, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Sister Boss Academy, Bargain Books, and most importantly, I welcome our author for today, Ntate Stan Montsho. Please give a round of applause for Ntate Stan Montsho. This is the first time that we are hosting such a prestigious occasion as UJ Library. The events program has been running for over 10 years now. We started hosting 10 events per year, and now we host over 250. This is not magic. We have a very good and dedicated team which ensures the success of all our events. Some members of the team are not present today, but I will just mention a few that are with us. Our director for events and marketing is Miss Alrina de Bruin. She's not here today, but we report to her. Then we have Reneka Pandey, who is the marketing manager. She's also not here today. Then we have Palisa Tlatsi and Kabelo, who are conference coordinators. And also we have 4 postgraduate students who are on a 1-year internship program. They are a wonderful bunch, and they will be assisting you throughout the day. Nono, Sifora, Solomzi, and Sia, if you are in here, please just stand up, raise your hand so that the people can see you. There's Nono on the one end. Where's Sia? Sia is there also. Sifora is the lady sitting at the registration desk there. Where's Solomzi? Okay, Solomzi will also be joining us. So those are the people that will be assisting you throughout the day. If you need any help, please just chat to any of them. Regarding the book club, we hope that the TU students present today will encourage UJ students to have a sustainable book club. Your guidance will be very important as we do not have experience in this area. I encourage the students to network with each other for the good of the reading community. I thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Moses Saint, and we thank you, Mam Theodore Mudise, for welcoming us. We are in someone else's house, so it is important that before we do anything, they welcome us, they show us everything that we need to know about, any bathrooms and any places of water or anything that has to do with emergency exits or anything that we need to know about their house. So thank you so much, Mama, for welcoming us. Let's clap hands for her once again. I am the program director of the day, and we are officially starting. So if you don't mind, can we just take a few seconds of silence for those who want a moment of silence while I pray for this gathering, and then we start. Amen. Father, in the name of our Lord and Savior Christ Jesus, we thank you, we honor you, we appreciate you for once again giving us the opportunity to gather in this manner. As we commit ourselves and this whole event unto your hands, we pray for grace, we pray for the spirit of love and unity to flow in this place, and the spirit of prosperity and success in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Welcome once again, guys. This is an amazing event of UJ Library Book Club launch and book review, and I hope you are all settled and ready to start. I am going to start with our program in the area of acknowledging our guests in our midst. There's a lot of people here, so we just want to make sure that everyone else is acknowledged. First of all, I want to take this time and acknowledge that we are at UJ. So we acknowledge the representatives from UJ Library, as we are in the library, and we acknowledge as well the UJ students who are in this place. And we also acknowledge Ms. Theodore for welcoming us. Thank you so much once again. We also acknowledge that in our midst we have representatives from Tshwane University of Technology, TUT, and we also acknowledge that in our midst we have KKWETSO Consulting Services, who are the hosts of this event. You will see them wearing t-shirts or jerseys that have this logo in the front or on their caps. In our midst also we have students also from TET, not only representatives, but there's also students there. And then also on our list of acknowledgements, we have a representative from Sister Boss Club Academy, which is Miss Tapelo Pule, as well as Katuchelo Messi, known as Bliss on her social media platform, Chivase, and then from Blissful Services and Production, who are also part of the panelists today. Remember, we are going to be having some kind of a competition book review, so they are part of the panelists. We also have performers from Born Positive sitting in our midst, so when you see them coming on stage or anything like that, just know that these are from Born Positive. We also have a poet in our midst, an entrepreneur, a director of some organization that we'll mention later when you call her on stage. Her name is Ontatile Mdawe. And then we also have members from various book clubs. We've been going around the country as KKWETSO Consulting, launching book clubs, and in events that we go to many a times, would find that we would be inviting some of the founders of the book clubs we've launched previously. So some of them are in our midst. We also have in our midst the author of the book being reviewed, Tears in My Hands, Mr. Stan Montsho, sitting over there. Yes. We also have, I remember in one of the book launches, we were launching Mambe Pinyana o Olerato, right, at TUT. In our midst, there was also another author there, which I also want us to acknowledge him. He's sitting right behind you, Mr. Stan, Mr. Calvin Mohajane. He's wearing glasses over there. Thank you. Then we also have in our midst other authors and poets. The books that are sitting out there outside, their authors, when they call their names, they can raise their hands. They are sitting in our midst. First, there's Kagiso Makena. There's also Michael Mashuku. There's also Mr. Peter Anthony. Thank you. And those who have not seen your books, but you are here as authors and potential authors, we also acknowledge you. In our midst also, we are having adjudicators. Those will be adjudicating for the book review that we'll be having. We have Mrs. Faith Zalegile. There she is. We also have Mr. Tapelo Kambule. There he is. Yes, we also have Miss Tapelo Pule. And as I've said, Miss Bliss Katu Cheryl. There she is. And we welcome each and every one of you who's here. If we have not acknowledged you as someone maybe prominent, please forgive us. We will make sure it happens next time. Thank you so much. Now we are moving along to our next phase of our program, because we acknowledge that we started 30 minutes late, and we understand that we have students in our midst. Some, they will be getting up, going to class, so it's not like maybe they are bored. If we see them getting up, don't be alarmed. They said they have classes to attend to. So I'm going to call now on stage one of the representatives of KKWETSO Consulting, Katlego Lengwasa. Are you ready? Is she ready? Yes. As she comes, she's going to come and tell us about the Literary Outreach Incubation Program. Then we proceed. Let us clap hands as she comes to the front. Thank you.
Dumelang. Okay, guy. You can all hear me. Thank you very much. My name is Katlego Lengwasa from KKWETSO Consulting Services. So my job for today, amongst other duties, is to explain the purpose of our program and to also launch UJ Library Book Club. So first, I'm going to begin by explaining KKWETSO Consulting Services, what it is and what we do, and how the Literary Outreach Incubation Program was conceptualized. Ne? So KKWETSO Consulting Services is a private company in Pretoria, which mostly focuses on business consultation services. So as part of our CSI initiatives or projects, that is how we conceptualized the Literary Outreach Incubation Program as a means to reach out to the community. So the primary objective of the Literary Outreach Incubation Program is to highlight the importance of reading and writing, more especially in our indigenous languages. It is to also help bring attention to local South African authors such as Mr. Stan Montsho or Calvin Mohajane or Sis Katu here, who are local authors who need support in this particular space, so that we bring attention and focus to the literature and the work that they do as authors. We want to create a movement that celebrates literature in all its spaces, because we have noticed that as we Black people, we do not have a love or a passion for reading. This is a basic fact. It started all the way from primary school, high school, and even institutions of higher learning, and even people in the workspace. They do not have a love for reading. So to bring focus, or to bring a new exciting way of making reading fun, we then started to develop book clubs in respective communities or entities. For example, we start or establish book clubs in primary schools, high schools, institutions of higher learning, and even community art centers or after-school programs. I just want to note and celebrate that we, as KKWETSO Consulting Services, we have our supporting partners. We have supported a young lady named Dumela, who has an after-school program called Carving Brilliance in the Winterveld, who we also opened a book club for. She is here today. We have also supported Ms. Winklek Chauke, who is one of our stakeholders as well. And we have also worked with local authors such as Ntate Calvin Mohajan. So what we do is that we instill these book clubs in these respective communities. For example, when we see that you already have a community art center or an after-school program, we then bring the literature focus into that space. We want to coordinate education and fun together. For example, in an after-school program, they help with, I think, maths homework, projects at school. But then we also said, hooray, how about we launch an exclusive book club for that particular space, so that when kids are off from school holidays, then they have a safe place where they can gather and then do reading activities or fun activities that are within a book club. So another point that I would like to highlight is that a book club, it is made up of a community of individuals which have a common interest and passion for reading and writing. Ne? But that is not the only thing that happens within a book club. For example, when we open UJ Library Book Club, they can also do study groups together, projects together, assignments together, or even host their own book discussions or imbizo in the library as well. When we communicate these primary mandates or these primary objectives, we relate to different peoples of different ages. For example, within book club primary schools, they can do word puzzles, word sums, spelling bees, any activities that is centered around literature to make it fun and more interesting. So another point and last point that I would like to note in terms of book clubs, we work closely with local libraries. Now, libraries are very, very important when you establish a book club, because after we donate a certain measure of reading material, well, and they finish that reading material, that's when they can reference the community library to supply them with the new resources of information and reading. For example, there are certain reading books that the library provides that we cannot provide. And the best thing about the library is that it is a continuous and sustainable process. If there is a particular book by a particular author that you need, the library does offer such services. Guys, you'll be amazed at the services that the library provides. Linda, I was also surprised. They offer PC training, like there are short courses. It's not just a pillar of the community where they store old books. If you can ask any qualified librarian, you will be surprised by the amount of work and impact that they can have in all of our lives. So ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, that is what the Literary Outreach Incubation Program is about. So I am now going to call upon Ms. Theodora Modise and supporting staff from UJ Library, also the students from UJ, so that they can accept their gifts for the launch of the UJ Library Book Club. Please come on stage. Thank you. Yes, please ascend the stage. Where are the students? By UJ? Any one of them, any few, yeah, can just come. Namelang stage. Yes. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the official launch of UJ Library Book Club, Ere Thomang for learners in institutions of higher learning. We have done the same, go TUT main campus. Wait, was it TU2 South where we launched? Yes, Soshanguve campus where we launched their own book club. So this is the second library book club that we are launching for institutions of higher learning. So what will happen is that we work with our book clubs for a minimum period of 3 months. So within the first month, that is when the introduction happens. For example, this is when the head of the book club will make it a point to get new members to join the book club. Ne? And then we move on to the second month, which is the evaluation month. Now this is when things such as the reports, the registers, they are compiled and so forth. This is when the actual book club sessions start to happen. And then the last month, this is the reporting and monitoring. Now this is when we track the progress here at the book club. For example, let's say we start today. So within, I think, end of September, you can be able to tell, Hore, has the number increased or decreased? Are more people coming? Are more people not coming? What is the status of the book club? So, in this file here, right here, and then in here there are book club guidelines which stipulate what exactly you should be doing. If you need any source of reference whatsoever, you'll find it in here. And as I've mentioned, this is a minimum period of 3 months. For example, it is a continuous relationship, like Hoya Kopeli, so forth and so forth. I think Ms. Bunke Chauke is testament to that because we have been working with her since the year 2023. So we are here for you. We are here to consult with you. We are here to build the literature movement. Hoya Hui. So thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us clap hands while they get off the stage. Now, through all my storms and rains, hardship, trials, and hurtful pains, bound with stone-cold iron chains, Father, you've kept me under your wings. Yeah, when I couldn't get out, you pulled me out. When I kept going back, you made me stand. I remember giving up on you, but you never left 'cause you're so good. Yeah, you pulled me through, pushed me to where my soul could not refuse. Land of plenty and good. I just want to thank you, my life is good. Now I picture you on your glorious throne. I'm kneeling down to sing you a song. This is from the bottom of my heart, Lord. Wait up. Let me just hold it there. I'm not going to sing, guys. This is just me introducing the next part. You know, my favorite part of the program. Not the most favorite, but it's my favorite part. You know, I'm about to call on stage you know, a lady who's doing the most in Mamelodi, in Pretoria. You know, she's a director of an organization called African Voices Amplified. It's a company which is dealing with multimedia and publishing. She's also, you know, doing the most in the tutoring space in high schools. She's also doing the most in the modeling space, the presenting space. She's a poet. She's just a community change maker. But for now, she's coming here just to rendition a poem for us. Her name is Ontatile Mdawe. We call her Onta. Let us clap hands as she comes to the front. Oh yeah, let's do this.
Hi guys, I hope you guys are good. So just the young intro about me and the kind of work that I've done or I do. So here it goes, guys. I don't write about politics, struggle, or war, although I would have loved to address such issues. But I've been called to play Cupid with these words, metaphors immersed in the strongest sibling of potions. Love is the notion when I step on stage. I don't throw punchlines nor hand grenades. It's just healing energy, soothing heartaches. I come to your heart's aid. It's all love when you hear my name. But just to say, I fell in love with the arts. The gift of expression laced with the curse of confession. It's beautiful. So much so that it's the mind's obsession, so be careful to take it in sessions. I take music for the morning. Soft melodies blessing the new dawning as I wait for the song to make my day before it has even started. It might not be gospel, but I still sing my prayer away. Lord, please save thy day for the afternoon. I take paint, making bold strokes to cover whatever I ain't, especially for those who don't understand that I'm not really a saint, but I don't do it on purpose. I'm not really a sketcher, so the lines I draw are very faint. I guess it's safe to say that I sometimes forget the boundaries that I've set. So I take a pen for the evening to try and correct the mistakes that I've made and write whatever truth that's left in my veins. But sometimes I wonder if I'm still sane. But that's just another topic for the day. Like I said, I fell in love with the arts. And like therapy, I take it in sessions. I try to make it my obsession, but damn, does it feel good to make a confession. Dish out my self-expression, the feeling of the date weight being lifted, your perspective being shifted, stripping off the trauma so that way it never gets thrifted and handed down to the one who's supposed to save my ancestry. What I'm just saying is that the generational trauma ends with me. So my playlist became medicinal, a curated healing, the feel-good feeling, that's why I be dealing. So please, lay off the earphones, because like a lifeline, that's the only thing that keeps me going. But you know what they say, eh? Therapy always feels like home. Thank you guys, that's the first piece. So that was just the first piece. I call it therapeutic. So yeah, but this one is the second one. I've performed it so far for the summit where they were launching book clubs, so I feel like it fits the occasion too. I want to write myself into existence, pen persistent to make something out of these words. My thought process manifested as the collective conscious vested in me breathes life into my poetry. See, now these words be like spells, incantations, a confirmation that now these verses are alive. What I say is what I be. So listen carefully, because these words aren't cheap. The truth is a story really told. A tough pill to swallow, you might even choke. I guess that's why it's often left untold, bent, molded, and sold to the highest bidder, and sealed on the lips of those who reconsider. But I beg to differ, so I blab it out. A blade, a tongue too sharp for the mouth to stay shut. I'm a razor blade. I never say it bluntly. It's always sharp enough to operate and shift your perspective. I wound the lies you spew. Never the same once I'm done with you. I am a runaway train. I've got no brakes. Crashing into your walls, bulldozing, wrecking ball. You think that I'm crazy. I tell it like it is. Watch me go Nike on you, cause I just do it anyway. I've got no filter. So no coffee for me, I'll take the tea and watch me spill it with a little to no amount of energy. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's bitter, but add a sugar or two, it's lemonade. Sugar coated to your aid, I call a spade with a serious face. I own it like my skin. No face beads, zero clownery, what you get is what you see. But you know what? It's okay. Just know that when they ask me, what do you do for a living? I tell them, I live my truth. Thank you. And then for the final piece, I would love to perform a piece that's already out on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, you can find it on Hype Media Essay. Yeah, so this one is called The Cheesy Type of Love. I mean, if you're not into cheese, it's gonna be tough, eh? Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I want the cheesy type love. The type love that gives handwritten love letters, talking about all things love, because we can't seem to say it all when we're together. I want the type love that wears matching sweaters, and not because it's just what couples do, but a sign that it can only get better. Your flowers on date nights, roaming the streets under the city lights, kissing in the rain, and never minding the weather. The love like, I don't really think with my brain, but the heart, because home is where the heart is, so I follow you wherever. And with you, I can't keep my distance, so I know this love is forever. I know the ending is never, but it's whatever. I just want you by my side. Let me be the Bonnie to your Clyde, a love like let's ride or die together, no goodbyes. Just, I'll see you whenever. And I'm not trying to sound clever, but when I say I want the cheesy type love, I'm not talking about your cheddar. And if they say money talks, I'll make your love my new currency. Words of affirmation on repeat, I receive all things love abundantly. See, I want a love like spirituality. Duality, out of body, far from cheesy, but you get what I mean. I want a love that's deep, a love that obeys no time, always slipping between the lines of the past, present, and future times. Love then, love now, love whenever it suits you. That's the kind of love I want to share. The not so lovers yesterday, friends today, and whatever tomorrow. A love so chaotic it follows no order. I guess that's why we can never just be friends. I mean, it always depends on the type of feels you and I get. The connection is never lost. Just sits there, waiting on whoever's bold enough to take the next step. It's never about who left, but about who's scared to take the next step whenever the love is in the air. This love is timeless. It's never been fair. Always catching you when you least expect it, but leaving as soon as you've kept it, and I've learned to accept this. See, that's the kind of love that I want, guys. But if that's like too cheesy for you, it's okay. I'll come back with the next one next time. Thank you.
Wow, that is amazing. Let us clap hands once again. That's beautiful. Wow, the cheesy type of love. Wow. We are here for book club launch and also for book review competition. So are you guys ready to compete? TT, are you ready? No, you're not ready. You guys, I'm from TT. Are you guys ready? Yeah. You Jay, are you ready? All right. Okay. TT, Yasha. Okay, guys. I'm just gonna call Ms. Katla to come now and tell us more about the competition, and then keep it going. Let us clap hands as she comes to the front.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheesy type of love. Google omong enaranya ki cheese unyaka Russian. So I will not mention the name. Let's just move on. So the competition is about to begin. As some of you might know, we're gonna have 5 students from University of Johannesburg versus 5 students from Tshwane University of Technology. So you guys will be given 8 minutes in total, to present your work. I will be sitting in front, I'll indicate whether you are left with 4 minutes or 2 minutes and so forth. The scoring sheet will be out of 20 points. Please pay particular attention to these categories. You will be scored on articulation. So when you get in front, please articulate your voice. As you can see, this is a very large room. And then you will be scored on the flow of presentation. Do your points make sense? Like, please make sure in the beginning, middle, and the end. And then you'll be scored on context and understanding. Like, do you comprehend what you're presenting to us and so forth? And then lastly, time management. So, as I mentioned, a maximum of 8 minutes each. So whenever you decide to take 2 minutes, 15 seconds, that is completely your business. And then the main prizes will be awarded to the top 3 participants. And then we have consolation prizes for all 7 others. In the case that there is a tie, then Mr. Stan Montsho will then decide which university is taking the trophy. So another thing is that when we have our top 5, the more students that there are in the top 5, for example, let's say we have 3 students from TUT, Kebona, who will be taking the trophy back to campus. So the names of our participants and their topics are as follows. Renale Tshepo Magele, you will speak on book introduction and background. We have Pasitsana Motaung, which is book introduction and background. We have Wandile Mati and Matsidiso Maseka, who will speak on context and content. And then we have Antonella Domingos and Katleho Makubo, who will be speaking of the author's style of writing. Renale Tebelo Motapo and Granny Pohole, who will be speaking on the message of the book. And then lastly, Renale Maswabi, Libita, and Dimakato Mamishe, who will be speaking on the conclusion and the overall opinion on this book. So, ladies and gentlemen, bana ba skolo, good luck, and remember 8 minutes, ne guys, please do not exceed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just gonna be calling names. As I call your name, please come to the front, and you know your topic already. Let us welcome Tshepo Mogale. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you guys are doing well. Before 8 minutes, I've always wondered, actually, why, especially in professional spaces, badula. Well, it's something that I intend to even say at this very moment. To say I don't even understand its meaning, just that I'm hoping that anyone who's been in professional spaces will provide that clarity for me. But I would love to say to you guys, all protocol observed. So, Tears in My Hands by Stan Montsho. And so, it's very important for us to grasp the utmost feeling and mood that this very book provides. And so I will be doing the introduction and the background critique. Now, the purpose of this critique is actually to share viewpoints on this book, this book's introduction, and evaluate its effectiveness in setting the stage and the main content of the book at large, and also to explore the characterization of the protagonist. Now, the introduction and the background overview. We are introduced to a man named Sichaba Mokwampa, who suffered from a troubled past. By the time of his introduction, he's 17 years of age, and he comes from a family of 6, which is himself, his mother, his 4 sisters, namely Matema, Murati, Tumi, and Matlodi. And he has a strong sense of lack of father figure, and had quality and yet profound short time with his grandpa Patoki, who served him a great deal of life lessons through tales. He has teaching inspirations in his introduction, either as a teacher or a preacher at large, and this shows that he is indeed a man of purpose. Now, in his background, it's very important that we unpack exactly how his character looks like. And so it's important to note the circle of his influence that contributed to his pressures, or the pressures that he faced by himself, his family, and of course his community. So when it comes to himself, we are talking about a man who has a very low self-esteem and a strong sense of fear of failure, a negative sense of self-perception, emotional instability, and lack of trust for himself. And so the pressures that he faces from his family entail the core idea that there's a lack of support structure from his family. It's a very dismantled family. He suffers also from emotional neglect, unsolved family trauma, and financial instability. Now, the pressure that he faces from his community, which is a rising recognition, especially in rural communities these days, is the core idea that he faces such a vast amount of societal pressure and envy, including competition, lack of support from his community at large, fear of alienation and conformity to certain standards that would contribute to the limitations of the boundaries that are created in his circle. Now, character, background, and atmosphere. We are talking about a man who is prayerful and has a tribal background based on the core idea. He was under the authoritative government of King Madiame, and the naturalistic setting that he comes from conveys the exploration of rivers and mountains and giving emphasis on the sides of the journey that he embarks on. Now, the journey into the unknown, which is the first chapter of the book, it starts with a very powerful sentence. Guys, I'm not good ka Setswana, but bear with me. Lo godile, lo banna lo kaya go batla mmereko. Now, this line, when I consulted my Tswana people, they showed and gave its meaning to say it conveys this ideology of saying, as grown men, it is now time to seek for employment. Now, this is a very powerful theological introduction, and it gives emphasis to the belief that maturity brings responsibility, particularly in seeking to support oneself and one's family and community. And so theologically, it is believed that achieving adulthood involves fulfilling one God's given duty to be productive and contribute positively to society. So this interpretation highlights the divine expectation for individuals to participate in the labor force as part of their spiritual and moral obligations. So part of unpacking the first chapter, as per the background and the introduction, his religion and culture contributed significantly to his identity and his strong motivation to undertake such a very long journey on countless attempts of trying to understand himself and his emotions gets to show us that this man suffers from a strong sense of void that might have even taken place from his early stages of his life. Now, part of also the journey into the unknown, it is important to realize that he bore the weight of misery that left his family in despair, placing him in a position where he had to shoulder both the burdens of brokenness and paternal responsibilities. Despite managing to find beneficial grounds for himself and his family, he remained internally empty, with a profound sense of light buried deep within himself. And so the journey of the unknown entails a very powerful introduction for this book at large, because it gets to show us exactly what we're about to get into. And then we get to see that he suffers from a lack of father figure which is an idea that contributed significantly to how he turned out. He does not have that strong sense of parental authoritativeness in his life. And so that contributes effectively on his decision making whatsoever. So this void in his life rendered him to bind to even the most apparent truths beyond this understanding. It's something that is deeply ingrained within himself from a very young stage of his life. And so it provided him with difficulties to find peace and solace within himself, making it much more difficult for other people to see the good in him, let alone respect the person that he is for who he is. And so as a victim of circumstances, a significant portion of his life confined his thoughts and imposed strict limitations. He longed for freedom, but his sorrow trapped him in guilt, even though he knew he could free himself at any time. So the absence of his father left him with an emotional foundation, diminishing his enthusiasm for progress that could have surpassed his potential if he believed he could have done more with his capabilities. So in conclusion, as a concluding statement, the introduction of this book skillfully sets the stage, drawing the reader into the protagonist's strenuous journey, and in essence, it serves as an ideal introduction, seamlessly transitioning into a deeply moving context that intertwines real-life struggles with the unfolding of profound mysteries, leaving a lasting emotional impact on the reader. I thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. Let's continue clapping. There's a future for this man. I feel jealous there, my guy. I need to go and learn your accent. You speak in an amazing way. We're going to call a second speaker. I'm glad I'm not the judge. I've been a judge before, but it looks like it's getting hot. Are you ready? Let us clap hands for the Tshwane Mutaun. Okay, now here's how we're going to do it. When you see me stand, just know that your time is up. And then you can wrap up with the last sentence, and then it's all good.
Dumelang, Kalina Khatukinna Basetsana wa kwa Mtaung. I am from TUT, and I will be doing the topic of introduction, background, as well as the layout of the book. Okay. Lo godile, lo banna, le kaya go batla mmereko. That is a Setswana proverb that when men are satisfied, they can start going to look for fat, which is the first line of the novel that introduced us to a book of an adventure of misfortune. I still do question why though. Labona, just as Sechaba's journey was compared to the Bible scripture that says, as you walked through the valley of the shadow of death, you shall fear no one, because your God is with you. I think as a reader, you had to compare it like that. That scripture, actually that the authors promised that this book is worth reading, because the introduction was very confusing. The intention of the author for filling the introduction with riddles and symbolism, it ended up being confusing and making us lose interest. And I will be now speaking about the layout of the book. The layout was pretty appealing. Although the cover image does make one assume that it is rather rain that is falling into the hands than tears, but the book is quite portable. It does not overwhelm you, especially if you are not a passionate reader like myself. The use of images was very considerate, especially for visual learners. It helped by emphasizing the image that you could have possibly had in your mind about the journey in which Setšhaba was in every chapter. The use of different fonts as part of symbolisms of different narratives makes the book very easy to read, and it created a very amusing reading experience for the reader. It also helped with people with visual impairment, with reading clearly through each dialogue and what the author intended to mean. It helped with readability, and it reduced eye strain, which made the reading experience very enjoyable. The book has a lot of white space, which created cleanliness and unclutteredness. It was very well organized. This book highlights the state of the system in which South Africa was in back then, which is of poverty and unprivileges for the natives of South Africa. In conclusion, the author can work better on the introduction of the book. It should make the reader have a voice in which the author was writing it. They should minimize the symbolism and riddles that were used, because it made it very uninteresting and unnecessary. The layout was good, and I'd be very eager to read the book if I had my first glance on it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Basasana Mitaung. We'll clap hands once again. We are clapping because she said she's not a reader, and she gave her 4 minutes in the review. That was amazing, though. Next, can we welcome the one who's going to speak on context and content, Wandile Mate. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Please don't mind my outfit. I have a physical thing with children at my practicals later, so I see that I'm the odd one out. So my name is Wandile Mate. I'm standing here for the UJ team. What I'd like to firstly say about the book, Mr. Stan, I'd respectfully say you lied to us. This is not the book of our times. This is the book of our generation. Let me tell you why I say that, because this book is telling a story of how South Africa is. Yes, it's set up in the medieval or the time or the background that it is in. But still it reflects the context of our society in those days. So with that said, I'd like to begin by a quote from Albert Einstein that says that the value of a man is in what he gives more than what he receives. So what Mr. Stan did is he took this quote and weaved it into a beautiful story that relates and reflects the social context of South Africa. So what I'm going to be speaking about is the content and content and context. So I'm going to start by a few themes that I identified. I'm not going to narrate the whole story because I'll waste my 8 minutes. So the few things or the themes that I identified from the story that truly reflect the social context of South Africa, racism and equality. So what Mr. Stan did, he showed us that sometimes people look at your race and then they undermine you, they belittle you. For example, Comcom looked at Sechaba and identified that, oh my God, he doesn't deserve to get money. He just deserves a cow. He's an illiterate person who doesn't deserve anything in his life. And what happened after that is that he was proved wrong, man. It shows us that it doesn't matter if you're black or if you're white, if you're green or orange. What matters is the fact that you are a human being that is capable of doing any other thing that any other human being is capable of doing, given the chance that Sechaba was given. I mean, Sechaba wasn't given a chance to make anything out of his life. He wasn't given a chance to be anything in his life because he is black. But then he went back and did work on himself, and then he redeemed himself. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is the theme of child-headed homes. So this one is a very painful one because we see it every day, almost every day in South Africa. So we see people who are like Sechaba, young men, even sometimes young ladies, who take up the role of fulfilling the parental role in their homes. I mean, Sechaba identified that his father wasn't present in his life. So he went out to look for a job in order to redeem his family, which actually shows that he's a very brave person, and this reflects the reality of most South African children. I mean, I for myself, I can attest to that. So this is a very relatable book. And then the issue of absent fathers, oh my word. The issue of absent fathers, that one was really highlighted well in the book. What I love is that Mr. Stan highlighted that in a way that makes us understand the deep emotional and mental trauma that people experience when they don't have their father. Sometimes we can just say, you don't have your father, that's it, it's life, it happens, but we don't understand that this thing actually shapes your whole character and in some way decides the kind of path that you take in your life. I mean, look at Sechaba. He wanted to be a teacher, he wanted to be something great in life, but then the absence of his father also changed his whole narrative of life. He had to give up his very own dreams, like his father gave up his very own family. So he sacrificed his dreams in order to make his family or to redeem his family. So that's actually very amazing. But also what I saw here is the lack of education and development of black people. Black people sometimes, or in those times where the story is set in, they don't value education. It's not that they don't value education because they say that once you are a certain age, go and work. You have nothing to do with education. You can't be a teacher. Go to the farms, work and get a cow and come back. So that's one of the things that I identified. But the most prominent theme that I love and that I identified from this book is that you can always start again. And you can always start again. I mean, Sechaba went through hell. Hey, he lost his sister. He lost his mother, he lost everything in his life, and life had shown him flames. But then what happened is that he identified that even if it took him time to realize that I can still start again and become whatever I wanted, Sechaba really put the work in himself, which is a theme that we should really consider, because as young people sometimes, yes, we go through bad times in life, we go through things in life, but it's important for you to sit back and reflect and think about what is it that you deserve for yourself. So that is what Sechaba did. So before I waste my time, so the context of this story is that the context, I will put it in a way that is relevant to South Africa and South African societies now. Young people are innovative, and so it boosts their dreams. What I mean by that is that look at Sechaba. He started a farm from nothing basically. He went back home, and that shows that young people have the strength to become whatever it is that they want to become, only if they are willing to realize and put in the work, just like Sechaba. And then also GBV, gender-based violence, it stems from such thoughts that women, if you're 14, 16, go and get married, because that is belittling women, and it gives the men or the older men power to try and discipline or hit the women. So those are one of the themes or the context that I saw in the book. And then also this book brings forward a very serious conversation in South Africa that needs to be held. Sometimes it's a very difficult conversation of how other races view other races. I love the honesty in the book for the boss's wife to say that Sechaba is just nothing. She's very honest about her thoughts. So I think that is a very difficult and and an important conversation that should be held in South Africa in order for us to move from the past that we are coming from. So, and also one of the things that I identified is spirituality. I love that Chaba is guided by his ancestors. Most of us, we abandon spirituality or we abandon religion and forget that it brings us back to who we are, and then it is important to celebrate those that come from us. I really enjoyed his grandfather's stories because they also related the path that he was taking. So that was a very beautiful story, even though this is not the story of our times, it's the story that we need, it's the story of our generation. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Wandile. Now that is context and content. Yeah. Well, after someone like that speaks, you already have an idea what this book is talking about, right? Yes, yes. So let's hear the second one who's also going to touch on content and context. Matiriso Maseka. Yes.
Thobela. Nakalina kina Matsidiso Waramaseka, and I will be doing the context and the content of the book. First and first, like for some reason, Tears in My Hand is not like a book that I have really heard mentioned anywhere else. So if it wasn't for book club, I would have never heard about it, much less picked it up. So I am incredibly thankful that I did pick up because I relate a lot from this book. So it says this book is a story that many South African can relate to. But like, I would like to say not only many South African from rural areas, but like people who feels like their fathers are not there, they are absent, and therefore they feel that they are forced to step in and fill for their father. This book is also good for them. And like the present fathers, the absent one, you can like read it and see the effects that they're doing to the kids, that like they feel like they need to be there and fill in for you. So this book, it's for just like everyone. Thank you. And it is a book that is heartbreakingly beautiful story that perfectly balances the sorrow and the joy. So Sechaba was 17 when he left his village. He left because his mother was very old. His father was not there. He had sisters that he felt like it was his responsibility to take care of them. So watching Sechaba change and grow over the course of the novel felt like watching myself with no one to reach to. Because what he went through, it was painful. At some point I thought like he was gonna maybe take his life or like just give up along the way. But like what like he did, it's very, very incredible. So I was drawn into the first chapter, and I quote, Sechaba realized that he had company. An eagle is circling the blue ceiling, hoping that by the grace of the skies above, Sechaba will fall and breathe no more. Close quote. Around this chapter, I would believe that it focused about like maybe the negative aspects about the eagle, but maybe the eagle was there to protect him. However, the eagle holds a significant importance to various people in cultures around the world. It represents symbolism and spiritual connection. I mean, after when the eagle disappeared, lots of bad things happened to Sechaba. Maybe the eagle was there to protect him. Well, you have to read the book to find out. The other thing that really caught me was a chapter 4. The heading says, an emotional fire lingering within. Now, there was a lot of emotions involved in that chapter. The reason why I love this chapter so much is because I I did not just read the book by myself, my roommate and my other friend at school. So when I asked Rituri about this chapter, what do you think about this chapter? When like Mrs. Komkom took advantage of Achebe and lied between what was happening between the two of them, it's what the boss wanted. So what happened to Achebe is that he was sexually assaulted, but like from my guy friends, they did not see that as sexual harassment. Like, I'm asking how, because like this person is resisting, meaning that like he is not okay with whatever that is happening at the first when that happened. Someone just said, no, it was good for him. I'm like, no, it's not, because like, if you look into it, it's like he's 17 years old and Mrs. Komkom knows way better. So he used his power, she used his power to take advantage of Achebe. So I would like to believe that this book tells us that in the past, sexual abuse was not taken seriously because victims were often blamed, shamed, or held responsible for the abuse. Sometimes it was covered up to avoid scandals, things like, what will people say? Like, how are they gonna look at you? So it is very, very important that we recognize that boys and men can also be the victim of social violence. So this book, it introduced that topic. It's a sensitive topic, and I felt like since most people didn't understand or pick that thing up, Uguti, it's a sexual assault. It means like we didn't know, or like it is not there that we can like know that Uguti, okay, what happened to him was actually not okay, because it can like have a long it can have consequences on his physical and emotional well-being. The other parallel, like Achebe experienced a great deal of hardship, faced numerous challenges, because like he felt like he needed to do what his father was supposed to do, which is to take himself and his siblings. So I would like us into this room to imagine how will have Achebe's life turn out to be if his father was there. I'm not saying it have turned out good or something, but like let's just imagine how it will be. And this story, it teaches us and educates us that being there, being a present father, it doesn't mean being perfect, but it means being actively engaged, supportive, and committed to your child's well-being. The more you are there for your child, you teach them self-confidence, you teach them self-confidence, you play with them, like their self-esteem you build their self-esteem. So in the other part of the way, the book ends about the secret that Mrs. Komkom and her friend kept about the twins. I would like to believe that the narrator shares the sentiment that they call them abafaz goba bafa bayaz, simply meaning women die knowing. Yes. So I really enjoyed the book, and it was painful to a point. At some point I felt like, oh my God, I just could just rip those pages and like, yeah, but like it's a great book. Thank you for the educational experience that I've learned about in this book. So thank you.
Thank you. Let's give it up again for Matsiri. That was amazing. That was beautiful. I've been asked to please let you know, guys, as I call your names when you come here, just mention where you're from. I know Tshepo Mohali was from UJ. I know Basitsana, the second speaker, Mutaung, was from TT. And I know that Awandile Mate UJ and Matsiri, who just left the stage, was from TUT. So let us now clap our hands and welcome The one who's going to speak about the author's style of writing. Antonella Domingos.
Greetings to all. My name is Antonella Domingos, and I'll be talking about the author's style of writing. I'm from UJ APK Library Book Club. After carefully and tediously conducting thorough research, it has been discovered that there are various writing styles that authors can utilize when compiling literature pieces. However, the two focal styles I would like to make note of are narrative and descriptive. Reasons being that firstly, narrative is known by many as being a style that is storytelling based, meaning words are used to formulate and mend narrations of sorts, whereas descriptive writing revolves around the notion of using words that provide the senses, that provoke the senses of the readers in order to create a realistic or experienceful literature journey. What is the point of me telling you all this, you wonder? Well, here's the reason.
We are surrounded. What best defines I and me? What best defines I and you, Mr. Montsho, is the power of the imaginative collaboration. Moya omong otlodula otloka moya omong. Therefore, I would like to offer a piece of advice which saying that making use of one or two style of writing is, I feel like you could have went with at least a little bit more than just two. Therefore, ke a leboha.
Thank you. That is Katleho Makubo. Now we want to hear the message. Hey, Mr. Stan, are you good? Are you still okay, my guy? Okay, the judges, are you still with us? Thank you. Now we want to hear about the message. Two people are going to tell us about the message. So let us clap hands and welcome Tebelo Matapo.
Good day. Good day. I'm one of the contestants that will be highlighting the message of the book today. But before I start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I love reading books. I'm a book reader. That's why I'm here. But one thing that I do not like to read is fiction. And initially, I thought that this book was fiction, but at the end, I realized that this is not fiction. This is a story of a young black child. My name is Tebelo Mutapo, and today I'm gonna highlight 3 messages that I have extracted from the book. The first one is that poverty does not entitle you to success. The second one is that you should not stop, you should keep on moving. And the last one is that the wheels of life keep changing. So, okay, it's not working. The first message, poverty does not entitle you to success. So we have this very famous notion and this very incorrect notion that if you come from a background of poverty, you automatically are entitled to success. This is not true. We see this with Chaba as he is born into poverty, and he promises himself that, no, I'm gonna get greater opportunities to fend for my family. He does go get the greater opportunities. He finds a job, and at this farm, he climbs up the ranks. I call this part of his life his peak. He climbs up the ranks, he becomes a manager, he oversees everything. but he forgets his purpose. He forgets that he left home. He left home, a home with poverty. He gets blinded by love and forgets his purpose. And we all know what happens next. He loses it all. He loses both of his lovers, and he loses his position as a manager. He's demoted back to his initial position of taking care of cattle. So this little piece of Chaba's life highlights to you that poverty does not entitle you to success. In my own opinion, I think at his peak, he should have used that peak period to provide affluence to his family. The second message is that you should never stand still. You should keep on moving. So in life, we all have a time where everything goes south. We have a time where you feel as if you should give up. Everything is hard. But you should not. You should keep going. This is what I call the definition of life. So we also see this by Chaba. Yet again, he's born into poverty. And he says to himself, I'm going to get greater opportunities. But before he gets to these greater opportunities, he embarks on a very strenuous journey. So this book highlights to us that he traveled 152 kilometers to the farm. By a raise of hands, how far do you think that is? Maybe from Johannesburg? Very far. Ne? Okay, so according to research, it's approximately 167 soccer grounds conglomerated together. Yeah, I just made that point up, but I just wanted to give you the picture of how far it was. So during this journey, he is hungry. He risks his life by sleeping in caves where he's visited by hungry hyenas. And to make matters even worse, he's followed around by an eagle who hopes that he dies from hunger. This is another portion of his life that highlights that you should keep going, do not stop on moving. We see this as Chaba does not have any matter. He keeps on moving. And the last message I'd like to highlight to you is that the wheels of life keep on turning, the wheels of life keep changing. There is this famous saying, "Kasesotho thwe, bophelo ke semphego." Direct translation, it means that life changes. So there comes a time in our life where we are treated inferior, we are looked down upon. But we should know that this is just a part of our life. Life turns, life keeps on changing. So we see this with Chaba, as he is a poor boy born into poverty. He goes to work at the farm, and at the farm he is treated inferior by his son, Samara. He is also treated inferior by his so-called lover, Mrs. Komkom. He is disrespected so brutally by his own son that he decides to pack his bags and head back home. Once he is at home, he reminisces to himself. And one thing I like about Chaba is that he does not play victim. He does not play victim. He tells himself that he reminisces that throughout these entire years, he has gained skills. Which skills are these? He now knows how to farm. He was once a manager. He can drive. So he says to himself, I'm not going to play victim. I'm going to apply these skills. And fast forward, he now owns a farm. He is now able to provide for his family. His family is out of the presence of poverty. And he's now affluent, he's now successful. But to make matters even more better, his former lover, Mrs. Komkom, gives what is due to him. He gives him 10 cows. He also gives him a truck. But to make matters better again, his relationship between his son, Samara, is revamped. He is now successful. So this is what I wanted to highlight to you, that life keeps on turning. Nothing stays stagnant. Nothing stays the same. And to you who is sitting here, who is facing stress, academic pressures, I'd like to tell you that bophelo ke semphego. Ke a leboha.
Thank you so much. That was Tebelelo. Clap hands once again for him. That was a beautiful outline of the message of the book. Yeah, I think as you were speaking now, you made me want to read into that book. But there's a part specifically mentioned. I'm not sure. It makes me want to go and read your book, Mr. Stan. It says there's an eagle. It's hungry. It's looking at this guy. He's hungry. Somewhere out there, there are hyenas. They are hungry. So what happens right there? I don't know, but let's maybe I don't know. Maybe Granny Puhole can tell us. Let us clap hands for her. She comes.
Dumela. My name is Granny from Pretoria campus, TUT, and I would like to thank Bafana, Ausmorini, Mr. Stan, and the library coordinators, and everyone that is here. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm not a reader, but I'm so grateful to read this book. I'm here to share the message. What I observed is that do not give up in life, no matter the circumstance, whatever that you're facing. As students, we face exam phobias, we face stress, academic stress is killing us. We face teenage pregnancy. Some of us, we came to university while we were 18 years and we had to drop out. So I would like to say, never give up no matter what. What I will also add on that is that men like Sitaba, he inspired me. Sitaba never gave up. He kept on going. He kept on going. I remember reading this book and then I came across this part. Yeah, Sitaba was going to the farmlands and there was a time in the farm, he was so hungry, but then he never let that to give up or to turn back home. And luckily, he came across tortoise and then he had to eat that. And also, there was a time where he was in the farm, and then it was so dark, and then he didn't have menches, and then nanya ko hira mollo hore at least abe warm and stuff. But then na sa tshwara enough menches, so yabelo hore so he couldn't do that. But then the following day he kept on going and going. And then at least Mudimu amkhawhela and then aba akria ele ki bayibizanga liwa ka spade ke liwa then aba kira liwa a tsena ka mo liwa and then ke mo ile gore at the protector and then the following day I said he kept on going. He never gave up. As young people keep on going. And then growing up in a poor and fatherless household may have some impact in life. Now every time I give like a example, and I wish to Linda give that father figure. Maybe the other way, but life, we have to move on. So, tabenya a fatherless figure. Papa's chaba, I will thank for chaba. I think the longeve the changes. But outside maybe give a less column. Basi ribana, not say horba by choice and stuff, but then some situation diba little horba riban and then neglected the education. So for me to you, I think the author was trying to say young people go to school, get educated, and uska like urutehe. Hosa is school on dilo tse di so tsa hore motho mo golatle mo wena re I will take care of you. Then utlo di dumela because you have no other choice but so that ubone life ili bad. And then I would like to say to young men that are here, take your responsibilities. If we really want somewhere, take your responsibility. Because now, in our society or in our generation, if you don't break that cycle, then it means we'll suffer and our grandchildren will gonna suffer again. So let us break that cycle. Take your responsibility. And then, what can... Oh, okay. I wanted to say, Hore, if Chaba's father took his responsibility, Nkebe, her sister, or Achebe, that guy wako mining, Nkebe isa ireha, maybe Nkaba at any school. And then the dream just Chaba, little na Nkebe Hore, like, Udifitelleti, the sister Len Nkabi. Bontsha hore o aparetse papa hae. And then whether papa o teng or ha teng, life must go on. So let us stay in your life. Here tlhokofetse. Rena in our culture, I don't know about other cultures. Ka Sepedi, you have to o ba aparele. Whether o tlhokofetse or not. No, whether o tlhokofetse, whether na le teng for wena or not. O santse o no ma aparele. And then the ending, I wished for, like I said, I'm not a reader, but then the ending, like I wish Sechaba could have met the twins, like, but this is our father. Maybe he could have done, okay. But lebella happy. Okay, Mr. Stanford, I reso horiskaba or Chaba, the twins bakopan is that not try horbonsa hore, mobo pilong. Not lotseka mka tse re nyaka re tlo di fitlhella. Some but our life begins at 40. Babang, like I can know maybe you are 25 but you have everything. Babang una less than 25 but you have to work hard for okay lotsete at the age of maybe 30. You have to work hard for okay lotse. Babang re kra di le teng ka hae, re kra cheese le teng. Babang we have to work hard to recreate that cheese. Rabo. And then ne mfa matla hore okay fine. Chaba has meet the twins, and then as I create like the dreams I as I defeated the nadi nyaka. Hairo hore na as a young person, if Lord I wanted to be a teacher, then this path here or maybe okay fine I wanted to be a teacher, but then there are some challenges they would deal, and then they led me to be maybe a panyasa. So that doesn't mean hore I should be hard on myself. No. I wanted to be a doctor. But then okay, now to be an actress. And then yeah, what I can say is that work hard, young people, let's work hard. And yeah, I think I'm done. Thank you so much.
Right on time. Let's continue clapping as she sits down. Thank you. That was amazing, Granny. Really appreciate you telling us about the message of the book. I think every time you guys come here, like, you know, the puzzles are coming together about this book. And yeah, I think now my bar of whether to get it or not, it's increasing. I'm watching you, Mr. Stan. We have Isaac, please raise your hand, my guy. He's holding a register on his hands. Please, if you have not signed it, please Can you raise your hand so that he can see you? Then he will come to you guys so that you sign it for us. We really appreciate it so much. Thank you. Message behind this book, it has a lot of amazing messages. It's true, it's a story of a black child. Never give up, the wheel keeps on turning. You know, even if you fall, one day you'll rise and all that. But, and then there's this part where you will watch a movie or a story and you wish it could end in a certain way, but it doesn't. It sounds like this book, some people wish it could end in a certain way, but it doesn't. But the interesting thing is that we are unique in that sense, that our stories mustn't end the same, but eventually we must all experience victory. So now we are going to welcome two last reviewers who are going to tell us about the conclusion and the overall opinion and rating this book, right? Are you ready for them? Let us clap hands for Maswabili Beta.
The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. All protocols observed. I am Libita Masabi, Malefe Mankhalefuta Limhlausa. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be critiquing the book on conclusion, overall opinion, and book rating. I'm from University of Johannesburg Book Club. Esteemed judges, I rate this book Tears in My Hands, Story of Our Time, 4 out of 5. Only because it keeps the reader engaged, entertained with agitating plot. Compared to other books of the same genre, Tears in My Hands stand out, making notable work in its category. It is very concise. Even if you're not a reader, get one copy. It's thought-provoking. It's well integrated through Sichaba's story, directly portraying South Africa rural life through the theme of poverty. I think that affects everybody, even if it's not rural life. You know the difference between Sichaba and us? Sichaba made his decisions based on his knowledge back then. We have the privilege of knowledge. There's access everywhere. So it's up to you to use that. However, I gave the book 4 because the ending does not really meet the reader's expectations. It leaves you with unanswered questions, like you wonder, will the twins ever know the secret of the mother? Maybe we can give that to Mr. Sen to write book number 2. I was impressed by the use of language. You see, in the book, there's both Setswana and English. And Setswana, yes, it's not translated, it's just there, which is very impressive. If you take a tour to other countries, you get there, people speak their own language. You rather have the translator. TV, the subtitles, why should we not include our own native language in the books? That was very impressive for me. I also enjoyed the fairy tales that were there, the dreams where Sichaba was dreaming about the lover girl. It was very appropriate and it was portraying the emotions which really felt relatable to our generation. I think that TV replaced stories that our grandparents used to tell in a fireplace. So we still need these books that outlines that. The pace of the book was so good. I remember one time reading the chapter about the adoption. I almost bent. I was cooking because I just wanted to find out what's next. Ladies and gentlemen, the story's originality shines through, especially in exploring the less discussed topics, very sensitive, like forbidden love due to different race, the age gap, employees dating employers dating employers. So it's important that you get the book, you read. You don't have to learn from your own mistakes. You can use each other's to get something. I think the huge cause is fear of the societal judgment. People do these things, the secret, because they fear to be judged by the society. What if Mrs. Komkom and Sitshaba embrace their love? Can you imagine that side of the story? This book is very 100% enjoyable. I recommend it. It's insightful. It really did reach the targeted audiences and almost everyone. I don't think it's for just those people. Everyone can read the book, whether you're from rural area, whether it's like just to learn the history of our culture as Black people and to just examine our future. Dreams only work when you do. We saw that when Sitshaba took the initiative to plant the crops, even if circumstances were different. Indeed, tears of pain turned into tears of joy. I like what is written on the cover of the book. Maybe can we all say it together if you have the book? The last part, there is no internship. Let's go, 1, 2, 3. There is no internship in love. We falter, learn, and grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's continue clapping for Maswabi. That was amazing. I made a decision, Maka. I made a decision. After that one, no, I'm buying the book. But let's hope the last one doesn't convince me otherwise. Because, someone can say yes, someone can say, But, yeah, thank you so much for that. Are we ready for our last speaker? Dimakato Mameshe.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dimakato Mameshi, and I am representing TUT. I am a veterinary technology student. I once had a saying that goes like, your name is your prophecy to life. And I believe Sitshaba's life is a good example for that, because Sitshaba never lived his life for himself. He lived his life for his family. He lived his life for Mrs. Komkom. And Sitshaba is a Setswana word translated to English to be people. He is for the people, or he lived for people. Just like many households in South Africa that are child-headed, Sitshaba, being the only boy child in his family, had the edge to now step in and be a father figure to his siblings and try and guide them, because of his father decided to be a rooster that abandoned its eggs after hatching. While I was reading the story, I was wondering how the title of the book relates to the contents in the book. And then I found them when I reached to page 123, when Sitshaba was now found in a rock bottom or in a hard place, when he realized that he is busy giving out joy, giving out happiness, but only receiving insults and disappointment. The first disappointment, it was the one from his siblings. He promised to take care of them if they make a promise to him too that they will do good, they will behave and change the family status. But what did they do? They kept on increasing the population statistics, even if their family status was atrocious. And the second one is how is being disappointed by his secret lover, Mrs. Komkom, because of she then decided to get married again, whereas she was still in a relationship with Sitshaba, to a point whereby Sitshaba was like, was feeling like Mrs. Gom was cheating on her with her husband, was cheating on him with her husband. Me as a writer of poems and short stories, also radio dramas, I would like to commend the writer's choice of language, even though, as my colleague has stated, that while reading the first chapters of the book, you tend to maybe not feel like you'd want to go on based on the tales and everything that's there. But then when you're done reading the first 2 chapters, you can flow. I flowed. I just read that book in a few hours and completed it because of. I then understand how he incorporated those tales. The tales about the chicken and the eagle, tales about the tortoise, because I felt like most of us know them because of maybe our grandpas or grandmothers have told us, or maybe we read about them in grade R. So that's where I started to enjoy them. And also things like how, as I'm going to quote, how Bas Gom might have stuffed his third wheel in the cookie jar to please the craving of his sweet tooth. There's a lot of these practices that have been happening in this book, but you won't realize, because I also realized at a later stage what was the author trying to say. I even laughed at myself when I found out what does a third wheel mean. So this book, I feel like I sort of read some books like this when I was in grade 12, whereby a writer is saying something but not actually saying it exactly as it is. So it gives a reader food for thought to be like, oh, this is what he is saying. And also being an older person reading the book, you would like how he respected language. And also, I like how he used a personification, such as saying that Dawn is not a jealous type. It's like humans are jealous, the Dawn can be jealous. So those kind of things, I feel like they brought the book to life. And also the fact that I speak Sepedi. I don't really know how to speak Setswana, but I like how he put Setswana words in the book, because I feel like the minute I thought about Setswana words being put there, I was like, if somebody from overseas could purchase this book, they would want to know more about our culture, so about our languages. So it's a good way of teaching other people, maybe not necessarily us. Maybe if the book goes abroad, people would now be eager. Okay, there's a Setswana language in South Africa. We want to learn. We want to know what does this mean. And also, the book talks about a lot of things, but I would like to highlight one thing that was never mentioned. What was happening between Sechaba and Mrs. Gom was an employer and employee relationship, which was which in this case the employer abused power and used her power wrong to convince Sechaba to be in a sexual relationship with them. So that was sexual harassment at work, which we know that it is not allowed. It is not allowed, but in this case, we saw it. And also, let's say somebody could say, but then they were in a relationship. A relationship between an older person and a young person, it's quite not it, because sometimes as the younger person, the things that you do, you are doing them because of you are manipulated. So Chava once thought of himself that maybe he might have a future with Mrs. Gom, and we know that didn't happen, because that was his fantasy, being a young boy dating an older person, not necessarily dating, but I guess you understand what I mean. So and also in giving the book rating, I also want to rate the book a 9 out of 10, not because it is that one is not because of that book has faults or stuff like that, but because of I developed sympathy for Sechaba, and I wanted him to win no matter what. And then that's what the author took away from me because of, according to Sichaba's mission was to make a name out of himself, for his family to have a status. But then that was not much visible at the end of the book, because of, we can see that, okay, now he has 10 cows, he has a farm, but then, was he ever respected in the family? It's still, in the village, it's still a question. I don't know. I feel maybe there was a point whereby we now know that Sichaba's cows multiplied, they made into maybe 1,000 cows, and his farm grew into like I don't know how to calculate hectares, but a lot of hectares, something like that, so that maybe he became so wealthy that he became the king, or maybe he became friends with the king, something like that. And also, there's an important message from this book, which is to never sleep with talent tucked in your socks. I took this thing from the book from Sichaba so that working in the farm sort of made me think that it delayed Sichaba's mission or goals in life, because of, it says in the book that he went there with nothing and came back with nothing. So imagine 20 years, and then, you see, so, but then at the same time, I'm like, no, Dimakato, Sichaba went there, but then that being there at the game farm made him to have self-discovery. If he hadn't gone there, he wouldn't have sat down and be like, Sichaba, you have to build from scratch. Build what is yours. So it gave me the thing out in life. You have to go you have to face obstacles, trials and tribulations, all those bad things, in order to shape a better version of yourself, to make you a better person. So with that, I would like to say, for anyone who haven't read this book, that book, it's a go-to book. And I was speaking to Matsiso the other day, talking about how this book we relate to it, because of, there was a radio drama that I wrote in that radio drama, there was an absent father. So we were busy talking in terms of doing messages and content. We were busy analyzing that in terms of that, or they are quite similar. So if I am to do a conclusion or to make an opinion, I can try and relate it to that. Overall, Mr. Montsho, we deserve another book 2.0 of Tears in My Hands. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dimakato. Mr. Stan, 2.0, please. 2.0. Someone wants to see the relationship between the employer and employee. Let's guy. Someone wants to know what happened to that eagle. Someone wants to know what's going on with the guy meeting the twins and all that. So you have a lot of visions. 2.0, 2.3, 2.0, you can do all that. Thank you so much. Let us clap hands for all our contestants. They did great, guys. They did amazing. That was beautiful. So, judges, are you ready? Are you busy working then? So the judges are judging, guys. Remember, this is a competition. We're not just here talking and just listening. These guys who were here, they were not just talking. They were actually competing. So we'll hear from the judges. But before we get into the judges, in our program, as you can see there, it's written Born Positive Performance. So we have performance that is coming. Let us remove our minds a bit from reading and all that, and let's get some entertainment, So are the Born Positive guys ready? Are they ready? If they are ready, let us clap hands as they come to the front.
Greetings. I don't know if we'll need this podium, but we might. Okay, greetings. I just felt it will be important to explain Born Positive, because it's a whole project, and I think going forward, it's something that we will be working with KKWETSO and UJ and probably TUT book clubs about it. So we've been busy with Tears on My Hands, and when you listen to the story and you think about Born Positive. Born Positive is a project of Sister Bosa Academy and Company, The theatre production is done by artists who are based in our academy in Rustenburg. Due to certain circumstances, the team from Rustenburg is not here, but we've got our Gauteng team to present something for you in relation to Born Positive, not the entire show, because the entire show is a theatre piece, it can't work from here. So Born Positive is a project that started way back, but it tells a journey of my story as a youth developer. I started my first organization in 2004. Till date, I'm still developing young people in the space of the arts, media, and throughout my 20 years or 21 years of development, I met young people along the road. Some passed on, some survived a whole lot of things like Sichaba did, others even severe situations that I didn't think they'll come out victorious. In 2022, we buried a young girl who was HIV positive, passed on because she was born with the virus. So we were launching her project called HIV AIDS Still Exists campaign, which educate young people. She should be 18 now, which is some of the young people in the varsity level. What came so prestigious with her story is that age group between 18 and 22, 23, 60%, about 60%, above 50, they were born HIV positive, because around that time, as a parent, you were not forced to take an HIV test or pregnant. So a whole lot of young people are on ARVs. They are not telling their boyfriends and their girlfriends. Others are reinfecting one another. Others, they're just keeping it a secret. Others are even scared to even get into a relationship. So the story of Born Positive talks about the story of that young girl. The family gave us the rights to do the story, but we're not using her real name. One of the stories is a story of a very fond Kamps Pamandla, because I think before the singers and the dancers, the real reason the project is here is to talk to young people about this. Pamandla is my class of 2015, and then he's back here. He will share his journey. So Born Positive is young people, and we're going to come back to the young people who go to UJ to tell us your story of your resilience in 30 years of democracy. As Pamandla was admitted in a psychiatric hospital for 9 months. After a successful event, I'm still crying when I talk about your story, because he was my baby, man, and then the next thing he was sick, and he, so today he's standing here. Some they don't return, guys. Others go to suicide. Others are on heavy meds forever. When you came back, you were too big. I remember. Yeah, so let me not take your shine. Spamanda will just share a little bit of his Born Positive story of resilience and why we did this project, to say, young people, mental health is serious. Take it serious. Whatever you're going through, take it serious. I don't want to see another Spamandla in my life. I want you to be the last one.
That's true. Sanibonani. Ngithanda ukubulisa ngepoem bese ngihlala endabeni. I hope you enjoy it. I go by the name Uspade Mastermind, so enjoy. From deep within, deep insecure spaces, he zones out to find a remedy and remind you that he is a mastermind. He masters masterminds. He masters messed up places and turn them to a miracle, even though he doesn't know of any miracle in his life. Yes, he is messed up and he doesn't care, nor is he careless of fake caring aliens of human beings trying to be mastermind manipulators to him, for he manipulated messed up people and hopes messed up people stop fighting their messed up identity and realize and appreciate the beauty of messed up things. He is a mastermind who doesn't give a damn who likes him or not, who approves of him or not. All he does is to master all he touches. Uyiyo ingqophamlando ehlezi iqopha umlando. Uyiyo indida edida izidididi ezisaba ukudedela amandla azo andize akhuphuke akhululeke kungakhohliswana kukhuliswane kungaxhashazwana kunyusana. NgingumZulu kodwa ke e ka ba sebe go sa bue ke phethe mabaka ke ntshe nnete mpitse ra nnete e seng ra maka mpitse lengeloi e le remoeng ke ramasedi go tlo bola ditsela tsa gago ka lesedi go tloge lefifi bengenibulisa sanibonani. Sanibonani. So I go by the name uSiphamandla Zondo umthiyana umnguni sokotshani inkosi ayiqede. Stage name sami uSipha the mastermind because I believe ukuthi if I start an idea I have an ability to master it and make it grow. I met a sister boss 2015. Still trying to find ukuthi what do I want in life, still trying to understand myself as an artist. And I met a sister boss at a time I was really traumatized. It's only now that I noticed ukuthi I was traumatized through the things that I went through. So I remember this other time I got a job at Starbucks 2016 when Starbucks came in South Africa. When I got a job at Starbucks, something good happened. But because in my life I never grew getting my compliments, and which is something that I want to touch a bit, where I used in actually accepting a criticism, which is good, but we don't know how to take a compliment. When someone says you look good, you feel like they want something from you, because from growing up, you were never told that you are worthy. You were never told that you are beautiful. You were never told that you are capable. So you are always told that you are at the fault. So that was what was happening in my life. I always had to prove a point. Even from a primary, ushaya ukuthi uthole 95, awungatholanga 100. So you couldn't even appreciate the beauty that you had. So this started from a very young age, ama-trauma, amaning. Even I heard the story that they were talking about, but there was an issue, absent father, which is also something that I had a father who was present because we are pila, but then he was not a present father. I act as young baba. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So suppose came with a concept of writing stories of resilience, and then I saw this as a platform to heal, because I discovered Guti, I had not yet healed because I was exposing the wound. Sometimes the wound needs to, I was covering the wound, meant to say, sometimes the wound needs to be exposed so that it can heal. The more it is covered, you don't talk about it, you don't get to heal. So I got a job at Starbucks, beautiful opportunity, everything was going well. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what's going on. My brother comes and says, we are going to a quiet place. In my mind, I'm thinking, say, parking. How a park is Bank Clinic. From East Bank Clinic, Eaton Vale. From Eaton Vale, Charlotte McCrack. From there, Stikfontein. I didn't understand what was happening. Like, it was, I am able to talk about this now freely because I've healed. I've gotten to, it even took me time to accept because I'm on meds. I'm going to take this thing for the rest of my life. Because they try to fool you that they're like, you're going to take it for 2 years. You're going to take it. Then I had to accept. But what I learned in this process is, Guti, life is precious. This moment that we are having now here is very, very precious. We take advantage of that. I had so many stories, mang figure lapaya. There was this guy, I'll not forget this one, even though there are so many horrific. There was this guy, he says to me, but we are controller because it remote. And then all he saw was police, even I came, yamtat. But the thing is, mental, can I educate just for a moment? Mental health is bigger than the person that has the issue. You wena ngogwakho uzibona right. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's bigger than you. No one will hate you in that business. You become a threat to the community, not even the community, to the society. So the first step in healing is to accept to ihlanye. Like, it got to a point of if someone would say Leli Hlanya, I'd get offended. Mauti Hlanya, even I forgot it in my introduction, Hlanya cool. I need to go better, finally did this. So you get to a point of you no longer get angry with this stigma that's actually efakwe kulezi zinto because you understand. So yeah, man, basically I was hospitalized for 9 months at Stekfontein, and then I got healed there, and a lot of things did happen. But what I learned is that life is precious. And yeah, there's a project upon positive where I wrote Isn't Ezenzekile. I'm also working on a book which is part of my healing. It's gonna be called Escaped Madness, because that's what happened. I really escaped madness. There's praying about saying right.
Nyabonga, you can come through, guys. So with that, I hope you will see Born Positive and support it. It's launching in September. And then I hope I will work with TUT and UJ Book Club, because we want 30 stories of resilience in 30 years of democracy. Somebody sitting down as a young person, you're going through some crap, put it on pen and paper. Because I think it helps, Pamela, because when we started this, when we tried to do the video, it's not working out, because I think you are not ready to. Because when it comes to detailing it, it gets critical, and he gets a mess, and we're like, let's take 5. But I believe Moses will get that eventually. So it was easy to start with the book, because of you are alone, you can cry and stop at any time. But when we shoot, it's filming, it's time. But I want that documentary to win. So that you can prove to people that we mastermind. You do master the mind. Sister Bosa Academy, they will just render us with poetry and music that speaks to the same themes of being courageous, strong, never give up. The entire play, I hope you will see it launching here at the Joburg Theatre, at the UJ Theatre, because I'm having a conversation with Karabo about partnering with us for the theatre play, because it's going to be the writing competition and a theatre play. The theatre play intends to tour in varsity and FETs and grade 11 and 12 high school, because one of the stories represent a young girl who I mentored and loved so much, and eventually she's from Limpopo. When I got her a school at Boston, she's an amazing actress and a writer. Last year, was it last year? Year before last year, I think January, when I called and said, Sabrina, finally I managed to pay you registration and you go into Boston. And she says, Mama Nyatwas. And I was like, what? And Boston won't refund me my money. And then, yeah, she has to drop it all. Sometimes media. She had to shut down her beautiful TikTok account of storytelling. And yeah, that is that. Her dreams and journeys were transferred to something else. As the conclusion of the book, we don't always get what we want. Life, limudimu, banality plans, stadium beyond what we have. I mean, there's a lot of stories that I can tell you. The name Sister Boss was officially registered after I went for 7 years, a court case of my young girl who was raped by an art teacher at our center. So I had to go for 7 years, becoming one of the state witnesses. She was 13 when she was raped. And then I think she was over 18. It went for 7 years. You can imagine 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. She was 20 when the guy agwebiwa. So 7 years of trial and trauma and replaying what happened. After 2 years, when the case stopped, it starts again, and you have to retell how he strangled you. So after that, then the name Sister Boss Academy and Company was born, because that child didn't know my name. So the statement Sako court had Sister Boss, and when they got to my house, I was this thin person because I used to be a dancer, and they used to laugh at me. The magistrate used to laugh at me. I'm this big, they don't call me Sister Boss. They call you. This thing named Tulamu. Yako court. I was like, but I was there 7 years. So Sneh is around. She does talks with girls about self-defense. She's part of this project. So yeah, we want to support young people in the 30 years of democracy. We need to tell our stories of resilience, because we still have to carry on. And we want to teach about the 7 C's of resilience in our project. Thank you so much to Nomcebo and your team.
Hi everyone, Njengoba Sister Bossa Shilo. So yesterday she called me and said, please prepare something real quick. And in my mind when we were talking about resilience, I thought of the song Something Inside So Strong. We are gonna incorporate it with poetry. So I hope you guys enjoy. The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The further you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can't deny me, you can't decide to take my face away.
Can I speak not of my pain, for it winds up all my wounds, and I cannot speak of the scars that seem to pain as I share the sad story of a young black girl who isn't so young anymore. I thought that they were called scars because they were healed reminders, marks of where one had been, a mark of an unbearable journey, maybe.
Ngafundiswa ukufuna amathuba, ngafundiswa ukwakha amathuba. Ngavuka kungavuki. Ngivuke kubuhlungu ngihlaselwe yithumba. Engane umndeni uyakhala na uhlaselwe yithumbu nalo liyakhala lifuna kufeza idingo zalo. Ngisindwa umndeni wami emahlombe ami. Ngizwe Nkosi ngiyakhala. Ngivuka ekseni kusampilo zamthini. Ngivukuzele kuze izivunguvungu nethemba ukuba zizoyiphendla indlela yami ngilibangise khona kwaSathane. Mihla nemihla ngiyavidinga. Ngitalondle ikhanya ilanga emini kaBhali ikhanya ilanga. Nginikwa imali ekhaya ngelanga ngenyanga. Ngikhamba baphoma ngikhiswa ikimi kugogoze izinyembezi emahlweni ami. Ngizwe Nkosi ngiyakhala.
Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. There's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
Our perspective, interpretations of our friends and strangers, sometimes they strangle our thoughts. It becomes what we believe, what we know. And believe me, belief has us all on top of it all. Your perspectives are what guides your way. So that's my way. So I cannot speak of this pain. I cannot speak of those people who have seen me suffer. Can I speak not of my pain, for it winds up all my wounds, and I cannot speak of the scars that seem to pain as I share the sad story of a young black girl who isn't so young anymore. Can I speak not of what they did to me, for I have realized that they wouldn't have done anything without my vote of stupidity to the scars that seem to remind me of my foolishness? Can I speak not of my pain?
Ngiwafunile amathuba. Ngawafumana ephelezelwa inkohlakalo. Inkohlakalo eyifumbethwe isiphathi manje sangitshela kwaba kanye sathi inye indlela yokwanqaka amathuba azokhanyisa ubumnyama empilweni yakho. Isikhohlakalo esangicala bheka phezulu uvula ukuze kuzokhanya. Ngacabanga amazwi kaMama ethi mntana ufana nesifikazi noma kuphosela umbila isifuba. Hlala lenkosi uNkulunkulu usebheni lenkosi. Hlala entweni ngiyo kodwa kukhanya intombi. Waphela inyanga. Zaphela izinyanga. Inyanga kwavela ilanga.
Something inside so strong. You can join in if you know the song. I know that I can make it.
Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong, you thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. Let us clap hands for Sister Boss right here. Like 1, 2, 2. That was beautiful, guys. I trust and believe you are inspired. Everything that has been happening from the moment we entered here, it's all about storytelling. Everyone has a story to tell. And we are all portraying our stories in different ways that we are gifted in. Some will come through poetry. Some will come through writing books. Some, as you see people serving, doing different things in different backgrounds, they are busy playing their stories. Seated where you are, this is another chapter of your story. On this day, the 24th of July, 2024, part of your story is that you were sitting in this event. If you were to write, I grew up seeing my little sisters, writing. Every time they come back from school, they take a diary and they write something as to what they are writing, but it's like something that happened today in the story of their lives. So that which we were seeing here, it was another part of others telling the story of their lives. I want to believe that this piece, the pieces that they were singing here, they were reciting here, somewhere, somehow, it touches on the reality of their own personal lives. You can see with the passion with which they portray this plays that they were doing here. So let us clap hands for such amazing acts once again. Now here, there's another person who also has a story to tell. We're just going to give him a few moments. He's an author. I want to say something about him, but I believe he can say more about himself better than me, because, when you tell a story about someone, it's like reading a book and giving it to 10 people. Trust me, when they come and talk about it, you'll hear different stories. But we need an original version of his story. Amen. So he's an author, and as he comes to the front, we are going to clap hands for him. His name is Calvin Mukhajane. Let us continue clapping until he gets here. You can come on stage, man. One step. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's 12. Ne? Let me be sure. Ay. Oh, yeah. It's 14 minutes to 1. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is okay. My name is Calvin Kamogelo Mokhajane, and I'm from TUT, Tshwane University of Technology. So I hear people are sharing their stories, but I'm not going to go deeply into my story that much. But I can see, maybe I can sense that there's difference between me and you, right? Is there different? So the difference is that I was, what do we call this? I was born under this condition. It's not a disease. It's a condition called glaucoma, which led me to lose my sight. So I was born with my twin brother, Edwin. And he's fully sighted. He has a big eyes. Maybe I think it took my eyesight. But yeah. But he has a big eyes, super big eyes. So now I have my bulbs are off, permanent load shedding. So when you swing gore, there's a load shedding, I'm adapted to that one. So I'm an author of people, they still recognize me as a 3 books, but I'm an author of 4 books. And the 4th one will be launched or published on September. We don't know the date yet. I've started writing when I was 16. Then the last book that I've published was last year. The name of the book is called Strong Woman. And then go to an University of Technology. I'm doing honors degree and language practicing or specializing with stylistics and literature. So I've worked with SABC to write and produce, I think it's 4 documentaries beyond production, and also the production that was owned by Kalaile Cyrus called Tshwane. So my journey is just like that. Life is hopeful for the livings. I'm not gonna go deeply into my profile because hey, Utlobala Bible, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I'm a TUT radio presenter again. So, I'm the only young blind author in South Africa. Google it if you don't trust me. I'm the only one. You see, blindness, it has a title. You know, if you are blind, you have a title. Now you just being an ordinary author whoever. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. You see, in language practice, they teach us about the title. So you just have to respect the title. You cannot just call me Warkina author and come forward. No, I have my own title. I'm the only young blind author. Google it. You see, it's not something that I tell myself. Google has given me that title, and it should be respected, that title. You know? So I don't mind if you're calling me the blind man, because on radio they call me the blind man behind the mic. So I'm used to that name, blind man. Because I love being blind, man. There's a lot of opportunities. We'll go there as time goes by. But yeah, I'm here to comment about the book review. I've done different book reviews in different radio stations. The last book that I did was the book that was written by Albert Tshwane Omoligo Achebe. Who can guess who is this book? The name of the book, Buntle? Things Fall Apart. So I did that one, and also I did the review, James Nguki Wationgo. The name of the book, it is called In Charge. So we have the theories that we can utilize to review books. Let me say the first speaker, I remember Getsepo Mokhale, my brother. I don't know what are you doing in life, Mara. How you review the books is nice, my friend. Touching the point of, you are not number 1. No. I'm not a judge. You are not number 1. So touching from the reader's response, we have theory called the reader's response. How you respond to how you are reviewing the book. It's kind of nice. You've touched the theory of cultural criticism. I know you did not know about those things. You touched something called a dramatical curve. It's in curve, a dramatical curve that was developed by Frederick Gustafa. You know that one, I know. It consists of the plot of the story, introduction, rising of action, climax, falling of action, and also the resolution. So there are a lot of things that you can consider when you do a book review. Now, this one is a book review for the competition. Ne? So there's no need for you to be threatened because of your reviews will not be determined by the scholars, like Bo Calvin, to sit down and say, you reviewed nonsense. You see, because of now it's an academic thing. You understand? So it's an academic thing. So when you come and stand here and review the book for the competition, I love the fact that people but change the narrative of literature now. They can express themselves. I had Baba Drillen the message of the book. they were like pastors now, you see, because of they can relate with what we are saying in the book. Wabo. So I love the fact that there's a sister who came here. Ogarurgi na teacher, ne? Teacher. Is that a teacher? You know, teachers are eating magunyaka dragon, so I'm not sure about that one. So, so I'm the only teacher here. So the teacher who came here in terms of the context and the content of the book, I love the fact that she summarized the book and she pointed out. Remember, when you review the book, there's no wrong or right in terms of reviewing the book. When you review the book, you only check the main ideas, correct the style of the author. So if you are an author, first of all, review your book. You are lucky. Mr. Stan Montsho, and we are lucky for our books were reviewed. Ne? You understand that one? Our books were reviewed, and it's nice if you are going to look at in a stylistic manner to say, okay, if I'm going to review the book, do I have to look at in the linguistic stylistics, literary stylistic, syntactic stylistic, semantic stylistic, or lexical stylistics? You understand? So if you are going to look of those things, manju, the meaning, and so forth, and those who mentioned the proverbs and idioms, it falls under semantic stylistics. Lorna, I loved that because of they prove that they read the book. So it's not nice or you only found the summary of the book and then you only summarize to something that you saw on internet, but you can't go deep into the book. So congratulations to everyone. I believe everyone all wrote now. Atlo receive the gift jagare utla continue at review some other books that are still coming because of KKWETSO's hosting different book reviews. So in my conclusion, I would like to say I had the story from Sister Boss and Kikimang Spamandla. The only true disability in the world is bad attitude. And a bad attitude is like flat tire. You'll never go anywhere because of there is a you in you that makes you to be you because you are you. Become the victim. Do not become the victim of the circumstances, but be the product of your decision because success comes from pain. Pain comes from trial. Trial comes from the vision. Vision comes from the person. Thank you.
That was amazing. Let's clap hands for Calvin. So Kelvin, ugo TET. And I go TET guys where there's young politicians there, student politicians. So the way he speaks, if he's bold enough to say teachers eat magwinyaga dragon. Kilo komore daman. Ah man, that was amazing, man. But it's far enough there. Guess how jump is it? We are going to welcome one of the judges to come and give us a review and tell us what they think about everything that's been happening here. Let us clap hands for Mom Figil and Mom Faith.
Thank you so much. Afternoon, everybody. Faith Zalegile here, a reader, a child of the township, a child who comes from nothing, a child whose world was opened up by books. I never got a chance to go to multiracial schools, but I do know how to speak in that accent. And and that comes from the fact that I am a reader. I have traveled, not as much as I would like, but I do know what Ghana looks like. I do know what Nigeria feels like. I do know what France, Italy, Spain, blah, blah, looks like. And all of that from books. and reading. So, I am well traveled through books. Growing up being a child of the 90s, I was fortunate to come across a program called Read. When you speak on 30 years of democracy and what it has done for us, I'm glad that today I'm seeing young black people standing here speaking about literature, doing things in the arts and culture space, and owning up space and taking up space, because it cannot be that we rely on other people to tell our narratives and to formulate what our histories and our stories are. So, big ups to you guys. I appreciate that. My job here is to just come and talk a bit about what is happening today. Young person, read. One of the programs that we have at UJ, and I'm very happy about the book club launch today. Years back, 2012, 2013, we embarked on wanting to become the best African university. And one of the programs that we started then was to introduce electronic content, whether it was books, whether it was databases, whether it was journals. All the acquisitions that we did in the library, we took a conscious decision to go electronic on those. And one of the resources that we then bought, because we realized that if you look at our constituency, what do I mean by that? Who are our students? Our students are students who come from disadvantaged, we used to call them that, or not so well off backgrounds, are students who come from rural areas. What do they have? They do not have these electronic gadgets that we're saying we're going to move towards. What didn't they have? They focused on the academics in terms of their high schooling, but when you get to university, nobody is going to teach you some of the softer skills that you need to be able to cope with the academic programs. Listening to a lecturer in front of you speaking in English, not all of us were fortunate to have that. That is going to challenge you. So the library decided to purchase a resource called Overdrive. Overdrive is, what can I call it? It's a literature, non-fiction, fiction type of online platform where you can buy all these novels and that type of thing. And we used that, and we were conscious about that because we are an academic library, but we understood that reading helps you release stress, it helps you open up your mind, it helps you get into a world that you wouldn't otherwise be familiar with or be comfortable in. I'm happy today about the book club. It is a milestone, Sis Theo, that we have that. The interactions, one of the things that we came with out of COVID is the fact that some of our students who came to us during that time came to us but didn't come to us because they were UJ students or TU2 students, but they were staying at home. They were sitting in silos. That socialization, that space of, having a friend at tertiary. Some of them couldn't do that because 2020, when they got here, they had to go back home. 2021, that's 2 years already in tertiary. By the time you come back with the third year, it's very difficult to now start making friends in third year. Third year, you're preparing to graduate and move out. So there's a gap in your socialization. Having a book club, that's a society where you can find that space where you belong. Belonging is an important thing in all the spaces that we prohibit. That sense of knowing that as much as I go to UJ or as much as I go to TET, but I belong to a certain group or to a certain society. And what is it that we do? That is very important. And it helps build you and shape you as a person. It helps build you and shape you as a human being so that when we send you out as UJ or TU2 into the world, we know that we're sending out a whole-rounded young person who's going to contribute to our economy and improve our country. I've told a lot of stories. That is not what I was here to do. What I was here for was to speak on what we as the judges thought of our contestants mainly. Let me start by saying this, students. When you decide to do something, do it fully. Immerse yourself. Once you accept that I'm going to do something, launch yourself into it. If you've said to me, I am going to sweep the floor, sweep it with joy and sweep it fully. What do I mean by that? If I give you 8 minutes to tell me something, use the whole 8 minutes. Put thought and process into what you're going to say to me. Don't assume that just rolling around, speaking the English that I referred to is going to be enough. Just like the book, you had an opportunity to do something. Some of you came here and they spoke to us about how Sichaba had opportunities where he had a pick and he should have picked, but he didn't. Do you think you had a pick and you didn't pick? This is the first launch of the book. You guys are the first reviewers for us at UJ. If there's another book launch or another thing that needs reviewing, or if you find that KKWETSO wants to go and launch somewhere, do you think you did enough today for them to go and say, let me go and get that reviewer that was at UJ because wow. Having an opportunity, did you use it? Did you not use it? How did you use it? As much as we're rating the book, but we're also rating ourselves, isn't it? We are family here, so this is family and we correct each other. If you are given a theme, research your theme. Research the space that you said you were going to talk under. Yes, it is important to show us that you read the whole thing. But remember to always bring it back to the space within which you were talking. Right? Because you were allocated a space to speak on or a topic to speak on. Review, speak on what you were asked to speak on. Show, of course, that you've read the whole thing, but revert back to your main point that you were asked to speak on. One of the things, because I also read the book, Ntate Montsho, and I was hoping there were, at least I think there were 4 people, because it was 2 sections where I expected somebody to speak on this. Nobody, for me, gave feedback to the author about the grammar. Don't be afraid to give critique in a constructive way, even if it can be deemed to be the negative side of the project. Because if we don't give that to the author, how is he going to then improve on Tears in My Hands 2.0? Someone attempted to touch on it, and then I don't know what happened in their world, and then they held back. Don't hold back. Stand on your word. Stand on what you understood. Don't be influenced by the number of people in the room or by the number of people who have given their presentation before you. Because now everybody said, wow, great, 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 great. And then now you also feel pressurized to go great, 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 great. Give your view, give your opinion. Be honest with the author. He wants to know. He wants to know. Tate Montsho, personally, investing in a good editor for me, that was an issue because some of the things that I picked up, re kopa ilo batla change ko editing ya rona. Or re kolota at least 5 rand. And then with our speakers as well, or rather our competitors, consider this fact. I know today we look predominantly black in the room. Consider this. Not everyone might understand my Zulu or my Setswana unless we've been asked or we've been given liberty to review in our native or African languages. It is good that that is in the book, but for context for everybody else, do mention, I loved the Setswana parts 1, 2, 3, 4. But what you are saying about the Setswana parts, consider the fact that maybe someone who is judging you is going to miss out on everything you are saying solely because they are not fortunate to speak the African language that you are now expressing yourself in. Make sense? Thank you. I am not a teacher. Overall, that was us as the judges, and thank you, UJ, for trusting us with that very interesting, stage and platform. We hope that the book club is going to grow, and probably we hope we're going to get invited to judge some other things again in the future. I think going on from now, I'll hand over to you then to tell us the next parts of what's going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Mom Faith Zalegile. Let us clap hands once again for her. Yeah, we are on time, guys. We are on time. Don't worry. There is something amazing that she mentioned. Some points are worth repeating so that people don't forget. They have skaftinyana to take. Oh, skaftinyana, it's a lunchbox, Mama. You know, when she said this, the words that she said, I remembered this quote that once you stand in front of people and start speaking, you are actually selling yourself, whether in a positive or negative way. And that will lead to a point where either doors will open for you or they will close for you. And so every opportunity you get standing in front of the people, ask yourself, is that an opportunity that which are you going to get again? Or it might be an opportunity which has to determine whether you are going to be called again for such an opportunity or not. So that is one of the greatest advices that which I received. So I'm passing it as a repeat to all of you. Now I'm about to call Mr. Stan Montsho, but I have to say something about him a bit. He will say more about himself. But the reason why I want to say a little about him is because I have realized how selfless he is. He doesn't know me on a personal level, but I know him behind the scenes because there are people whom you might be in the same school or organization with without them knowing you, but you are looking at them and they are probably role modeling you without realizing that they are doing that. So I'm part of a certain group of authors, and we are in this WhatsApp group called Tshwane Authors. So a lot of things happen there, conversations there, posters there, and opportunities get posted there. But many a times we check who's posting what. And by posting those things, it tells us about that type of a person. I can stand here boldly and say, I know that yesterday Mr. Stan Montsho in that group posted 2 opportunities for the people in that group. One that had to do with, an opportunity for chefs in Gauteng and in the Free State. Am I wrong or am I right? And then he posted another opportunity as well in the same group yesterday. Now, today, I know when I checked my WhatsApp, I saw him posting another opportunity for a short film for women garbage pickers, something like that, along those lines. So, am I right or am I wrong? So it's not that I'm following you, but you know, I just know something about you. You know, but that shows me that you are a selfless person. When you always have something, an opportunity, you share with other people. Because in that same group, once you share that opportunity, some others will share them in other groups. And you have helped someone who might not even be in that same group. So Mr. Stan Montsho is a multi-award winning author. They call him serial author. So I'm trying to figure out that serial part, but let's leave it, you know. So there's a lot of books. He has a lot of books, guys, and most of them, as you heard, they have Setswana Kabuhari. You know, I once saw him writing a poem, Setswana, and I attempted to read it. I'm like, nah, I want to hear him do that poem. I just forgot the name, but I'll remember it. You know, so some of the books that he has written, you know, they are called "The Tone of a Broken Horn." I know you know that horn as a shofar. You know that shofar, you know, yeah. So it says the tone of a broken horn. The other one is called The Rage of Ashes. Another book is called Dipirimisi. So I know Dipiri is secret. So Dipirimisi, is it some kind of a distraction or what? Secrets distract, something like that. Ne? So that's the name of a book. It's called Dipirimisi. Another book, it's called Tears in My Hands, which it was being reviewed today. And another one, it's called Under the Shade of Wisdom. Then there's Lonely by the Window. Then there's Emotionally Disarmed. Emotionally Disarmed, if I'm not mistaken, this book touches on bullying. Ne? Yes, we have a subject, a very serious subject of bullying in our schools. But there's an approach that he speaks about in that book, about how we view these bullies. It reminds me of one of your books called Mampipinyana Olerato. It's almost the similar approach because Mampipinyana Olerato, it's about witchcraft to a certain level. But now he's asking a question. What would happen if the people who has such great powers to bewitch and curse people, if they were to just do good with such powers, just for a moment? It's a beautiful book, by the way. Mampipinyana Olerato. And so this one about emotionally disarmed, it's also about bullies. What if instead of looking at them and resenting them and hating them, what if you actually love them? What if you see beyond what they are doing and realize that they're actually speaking to you as a person and actually crying out for help by just being bullied? So that's the name of the book, Emotionally Disarmed. I'm not going to review it, guys. You have to buy this book. The another one is called Roger. And then another book is called Mekhabaru Iwecha Lerageng. Greed can be destructive or can cause you to fall into trouble, something like that. And then another one is called Imiphumela Yobulumko Maungo a Butlale. I guess it's like the results of wisdom. That's it. Then another book, it's called Mommy Touched Me. Hey, very sensitive one. It's a children's book about Mommy Touched Me. Mommy, I thought it would speak about your mother personally, but the term embodies women figures in the form of bo auntie, bo rakadi, you know, bo chomia mama, women teacher or something like that, because yeah, the story, there's something there that happens in an abusive state. But let me not go deeper. And then there's another book called Musupatsela and Kinosi fa Letaba Pifong. as you can hear, most of these books are Tswana books and whatnot. But it is, I want to believe Mr. Montsho is one of those authors that's passionately bringing back the indigenous part of, black people in terms of writing in our own languages, because many people are losing touch with that. I mean, personally, I have nephews whom the moment you mention a Zulu term or Sotho term, it's like you just lost them. They don't know what you said. In fact, they feel like, Mama, uncle just kissed me, like umuruhile or something, So there is something like that. So those are the type of the books that which he has. And then he's also a publisher amongst others. He a publisher of Love Chambers, The Justice Saints, Yet We Pray, and most recently, The Hidden Beauty. He is a graduate of Wits University, UNISA, and a AAA school of advertising. When not writing or executing an idea in the business world, Mr. Stan cooks. He cooks. He cooks food, not only books, but he also cooks food. So he participates in road races, he watches theater productions, and inspires community upliftment projects, one of which including the production of a COVID-19 kids guide in various global languages, including Mandarin, French, Kiswahili, Isiswati, Shona, Kalanga, and RSA languages. So before I even go further and end up saying more about him that he ends up not speaking, may we clap hands for him, that he comes to the front and tell us more about him. Thank you, Mr. Stan.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I am grateful to all of you for making time. Firstly, to those who reviewed the book, and I believe empowered me in a process that when maybe I speak of another message in the future, I include your bricks and mortar and water so that the message can be even much more better. When I was invited to this farm called the University of Johannesburg, and also was informed that there was another farm called TU2 that it was going to form part of this farm, I thought I should speak to you about the fruits and vegetables that are germinated, that are planted, that are to be harvested in the two farms. And I think with the story of Sichaba, it makes sense to say, who is this Sichaba today? And that Sichaba is you. And I was hoping that when the reviewers come to take the podium, they will say, I am Calvin Sichaba Mohajan. I am Sichaba so-and-so. So I think I would like to name all of you Sichaba today, with your permission, but perhaps even forcefully so. Because Sichaba is a community, it's a nation. And out of it, we have seen that we have given birth to the Chaba, which is the book club that was launched. So we all come from different directions. Some said suburbs, some said migration, some said rural homelands. But I believe we migrate and go to certain spaces because we want to achieve something where we are going. And like Sichaba, we do that with determination, because sometimes the pain to change exceed the pain to stay the same. But when we are in a platform or area where we are now starting to see the light, achieving something just like you, we start to be complacent and forget the motivation that pushed us to be here in the farm called the University of Johannesburg. And in that process, there will be time that is lost because we'll make decisions that will derail us from what we want to achieve. We'll make bad friends. We are going to consume alcohol in the middle of the night. We are going to experiment with drugs. We're going to lose the essence of our identity and who we are and who we want to be. And like Sister Boss said, sometimes some of us do not come back from that derailment. But some of us, like Sichaba, are given an opportunity to come back, even though time would have been lost. So then the question will be, when you are given that second chance, what are you going to do with it? It is not up to me to tell you, it is not up to KKWETSO, it is not up to the institution. When we were at vets, they used to say, you do not study at vets. They say you are studying with vets because it is up to you to make time to go to classes. It is up to you to go to Watenwela Library and study. It is up to you to make time to ensure that what is achievable according to you is achieved. So you are not in this farm. You are not studying at this particular farm. You are studying with this farm. It means there's a partnership that you have with this farm, and that partnership will end at some point. And you will have to look into your basket to say, what kind of fruits, what kind of vegetable will I have harvested, and who am I going back to give these fruits and vegetables to, and how will these fruits and vegetables nourish them and make them better members of the community. You see, this journey is not necessarily even about us, because when you harvest fruits that gives you power to become a doctor, you are not necessarily going to heal yourself. You're going to heal certain people. When you harvest fruits and vegetables that are going to make you an engineer, it is for you to go and help other people, whether it's in mechanical, chemical. You are going to help certain people. When you are given fruits as a teacher, you are going to teach the nation to become a better nation. So I think I'm grateful, and I can only challenge you that in us bringing these messages, I know you have your message too. And perhaps the call for Tears in My Hand 202 should be done by you. Because perhaps we left that space deliberately to say, what if it were you? What if you were to know that you now have kids? What if your father were to reveal to you that you have another sister? What if you were to know that you have an illness? So the twins are not necessarily, can be a whole lot of things. What if today you will realize that you've got a talent that you never looked at, and now this is time for you to exploit? And maybe that talent is the talent that is going to take you further and further. What if the twins is a journey for you to go and study in the US? So it is not necessarily up to me. It is in your hands. And I think you can see the hands that are on the book, the way they're cupped. Because those tears that looks more than almost like rain, they have to fall. Anything that is liquid has to fall somewhere. And you can see that it is falling on a field, on a farm called the University of Johannesburg. And there has to be something that grows underneath. And that is my message to say, as you harvest, as you with pain and sometimes with difficulty, sometimes with resentment, sometimes with anger, let us just make sure that those tears nourish a soil that one day will be able to harvest fruits and vegetables that are going to be a nourishment to our country, but to our world as well. And I'm going to also conclude that as we do that, as we harvest, as we plant, let us do it in a considerable manner. Let us do it in a respectful manner. Let us do it with humility. There are a whole lot of people that are just dying for love and for that they've never experienced from their homes. So that let us become those pillars for people who have never experienced that. Let us humble ourselves. And because we are in Tshwane Achebe's chamber, I'm going to conclude by saying those whose wine kennels have been cracked for them by the benevolent spirit should never cease at all times to be humble. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stan Montsho. Let us clap hands once again. As you are standing here, there's a phrase that came to my spirit. Not mind, spirit. That's how deep it is. That still waters run deep. Still waters run deep. There are certain people, the way they hold themselves, the way they speak, the way they articulate themselves, you know, they are so stale in their operations, but there's something that runs deep within them. I mean, with the production of so many books, you can see that there's so much that can come out of him in terms of wisdom for this generation and for the people that are around him. So we are really grateful. Personally, I've only known Mr. Stan probably for less than 2 years, because the first time I met him in person, we were launching 2 books. One book called Butu Ubuntu by Dr. Gideoni Mokoena, which was written by 67 authors. I was part of those authors with Isaac Chaba behind there, who's also part of the authors, and other many young authors. They were part of those books. And we are also launching his book, Mambi Pinyana Ole Rato. So it was then I realized that, hey, there's wisdom that comes out of this man. Every time he speaks, you know, you are challenged to do better for your community and the people around you. So we thank God. So now we are coming to the climax of this whole event. In a few minutes' time, don't worry, we'll be nibbling on something nice. Sawara, let's not. Understand? So for now, please prepare yourselves, guys, because we didn't come empty-handed. We came with gifts. As you can see, there's a trophy there. That trophy, one book club, one overall winner must get that trophy. And then we have gifts for each and every one of you. But we have someone who's a #1 winner. We have to announce those people. So this is how it's going to go. Can you please have the judges coming to the front? Can you please have a representative here, UJ, students, representative here, TET, students coming to the front to help give you guys your certificates. We have certificates for you, as we call your names, to also help give you gifts. Can you please have Mam Theo, Mam Theo, we need you. Representative of the library, please come forth. Mr. Stan, please join us. Yes, please. You guys, you're going to stand here. You're going to queue here, guys. You're going to queue here. You want help? Sharp. All right. Yes. Yes. Let's give each other some space. All right. Yes. Now this is how we're gonna do this whole thing, right? We're gonna start at the bottom. You are all winners, by the way, guys. But we're gonna start at the bottom. Then number one, so when we call your name, you come, we give you what we give you, then go around shaking hands. You have won. Just you have to demonstrate this day. Then you come back here in the middle here. See this game. Then you smile. Hold your stuff and then you smile. Please smile. You understand? So please, guys, let's do that. Thank you so much. So are you guys ready? All right. Some of these numbers get it double, get it 7, it's a peri, get it 6, so that's why I'm not gonna mention numbers, guys. Just know that as much as you are 10, there's no number 10, there's no number 9, yeah, but there's double numbers. So let me start here with let us clap hands for Granny Pohole. Congratulations. Let us clap hands, guys. Let's not be jealous, guys. Let's clap hands. Please smile. Okay. I forgot to mention the camera crew is the one that must tell you to move. Don't move until they are. All right. Thank you. Let's clap hands, guys. She's won something. This is amazing. Then who follows it? Katleho Makubo. Still here. Yes, my God. Oh, the names, the list of the names. Can I get that maybe quick? Let's clap hands for Katleho, guys. He's done well. Matiriso Masega. Congratulations. Let us clap hands. Then we have the Makatso Mameshe. Then follows Antonella Domingos.
She's not here, they had to leave early. Antonella, it's okay.
Oh, Antonella is not here. All right, we are jumping into our top 5. We have Basetsana Mutaung. Then we have Tepo Mukhele.
Please mention about the gift, the collaboration between you, Jay.
Smile, my guy. Don't take out teeth. Smile. The gifts that they are receiving, they are courtesy to, KKWETSO Consulting Services and UJ Library. So are getting amazing things. So we thank you UJ Library. Now we're on top 3, guys. It's getting hot now, eh? Third place we have Tibolo Matapo. It's not here. All right. Second place we have Maswabi Lepeta. Ah. That's a whole lot of packages, eh? Wow. Now we have our number 1, guys. Number 1, yeah. That's too much. There's a lot of bags here, guys. Not only bags, but I know that there's a phone somewhere there. Hey, guys, this is amazing. This is big. Eh? Am I getting something as I'm doing this thing? Eh? Anyway, let us do the drum roll, guys. This one is a big one. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. This one goes to Wandile Mate. Don't be jealous, guys. I would have given that to him. Don't be jealous, guys. This is a phone, guys. This is a phone, guys. Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful, guys. Oh, man, this is amazing. You remember what he was doing when he was standing here? You remember? You do remember? You did do what he was called to do. Wow, let's clap hands. Okay. Thank you so much, judges. We really appreciate you so much for your time. Mr. Stan, you can remain there. Everyone who has won, please come to the front, and then you'll take with the author of the book you've been reviewing, guys. Come with the book. If you have the book, please come with it for pictures and all your prizes. You know, come and parade them, guys. Everything that you receive, certificate, gifts, the book you are reading, the winners, all the winners, guys, all those who receive the prizes, please come, please come. All of you guys. Guys, all of you, the 10 of you, I know there's only 2 people who are not here. Yes, just stretch yourselves. Smile, guys, you've won something. Smile. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. All right, we are not done, guys. We are not done. There's still another final great announcement. There's a trophy over there. Question is, where is it going? Remember, it was TUT versus UJ. Wait, guys. Wait, guys. Why? Because we are in UJ. No, don't do that. Don't do that, please. Don't be like that, guys. Otherwise, we'll change the rules. Don't be like that. But the overall winner, guys, you know, the book club, yeah, UJ or yeah, TUT, please come with your students, as we call you. These guys are all in the top 5 of the winners. So I think you can do the mathematics. You understand? The overall winner is... What is TT? That's why you're losing. You should come to the front. Wow. All the winners of UJ, those who are launching the book club, come join them to the front. Wow, guys, this is beautiful. The students who are launching the book club, I think you can join, right? Please come, please come, please come. This is home ground advantage, guys. Something happened. What did you pour on this ground? I felt when we were entering there, the security guard was a bit harsh now. Because I'm not from here. Oh, we'll see what's going on. Do all the polls, guys. When we are gone, we are gone. We are here for the last time. Let's come back again. Wow, that's amazing. Beautiful. Congratulations. Let us clap hands for them once again. Right, awesome. Wow. This was a beautiful event, guys. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Appreciate you so much. We're about to close, guys. I think we are coming to some people's favorite part of the event. As you can, I don't know. I have a strong sense of smell, guys. I don't know about you, but I do. So we're about to close, guys, but give me just few seconds to wrap this one up. I trust and believe this was an amazing event. We would love to come back again some other time for something else similar to this, to something literature related. But as we're about to close, I'm going to give to someone to finally come and close. Like I said, my name is Moses Saint. I'm known for being a director who keeps time. So on time, I'm on time. So can we please do me this one favor, guys? A favor for me, let us just have a moment of silence so that, as per my calling, I can bless you in the spirit and pray. And then after I pray, can please Miss Katlego Lengwasa come and do closing remarks and then announcements as to this thing smelling somewhere out there. Understand? So let's close our eyes, guys, then I'll pray. Thank you. Thank you. Holy Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, glory to your holy name. You are great and mighty. You've seen this day before it happens, and you know that it was going to be victorious. It was going to be amazing, oh God. And so we thank you, we honor you, because Father God, you always make sure that all things work together for the good of those who love you and are called according to your purposes. As we are about to eat, Father, bless the food that we are about to eat. Sanctify it holy. Even as others depart to different places, different provinces and directions, may a hand of grace and mercy be upon us. In the name of Jesus, we give you glory. Amen and amen. Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate you. You've been an amazing crowd. Katle Holengwasa, please come to the front and close. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much, Moses Saint. It has come to that time where you are looking at me. Yay. So, yes, food will be served shortly on that side where you got your tea stations. And then, Baba Tamanga taxi, kopa letse di picture fast, because transport you know yourselves. So take pictures quickly and then take your food and then leave accordingly. Yes, in all its totality, the event of the day has been very, very successful. I would like to thank University of Johannesburg and Tshwane University of Technology for forming such a formidable event, and it was very insightful and interesting. We hope that in future we will have such collaborations going forward. I see the start of a very beautiful and sustainable relationships. You should all be very happy about yourselves, and we thank you for your support. Honestly, it's beyond our expectations. And yes, thank you very much, guys.
Sorry guys, just one last announcement and then I'm done. Remember, we came with authors when we came here. So outside there are books that are sitting out there. There's a book called What Matters, written by Isaac Chaba. Raise your hand, Isaac Chaba. Where is he? Isaac Chaba. There he is. As young as he is, he has written a book called What Matters. If you want to see him, talk to him, there he is. There's a one called The Hard to Save by Lewang Adams. Unfortunately, he had to be somewhere else. Then there's another one called Lehlabole Marumo by Michael. Michael, raise your hand right there. Yes, yes. And there's another one called The Untold Stories of She by Katujelo Messi, there she is over there. And then, yes, I know there's another one called Breaking the Shackles of Poverty by Mr. Peters, sitting over there. Yes, please engage with them. Thank you, guys. You've been amazing. Amen.
Tell me about yourself.
I work well.